dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris campaigned in Philadelphia today, launching Black Voters for Biden, a key demographic the president is going to need if he wants to win the White House again in 2024. CBS's Skylar Henry has more from Washington.
President Joe Biden kicked off the Black Voters for Biden rally, pointing out that their support was crucial in 2020. Now he's asking for it again in 2024.
Are you with me?
His approval rating with black adults was at 94% when he came into office. That number had slipped to 55% as of March.
I don't believe he brought me this far, though, to leave me.
The president claimed he kept his promises to black voters during the first 4 years and said former President Trump would not be there for them.
What do you think would happen if black Americans had stormed the Capitol? I don't think he'd be talking about pardons. It's the same guy who wanted to tear gas you as you peacefully protested George Floyd's murder.
While President Biden is out on the campaign trail, former President Trump is in a New York courtroom awaiting the jury verdict in his hush money trial.
This is 5 weeks, and 5 weeks of really essentially not campaigning, although I took a big lead in the polls over the last few weeks. Something's going on. Because I think the people of this country see that this is a rigged deal.
Trump supporters say his court cases are a scam.
I really think that the liberal side didn't think they were going to get convictions. Maybe they will, but I don't believe it. But they have kept him tied up from doing the campaigning and so on that he was able to do.
And the Trump campaign pointed out that they're leading in the polls in Pennsylvania. The state President Biden campaigned in Wednesday. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
The CBS News Battleground Tracker poll out in April shows the race in Pennsylvania a dead heat, with former President Trump garnering 50% support and President Biden at 49%, well within the poll's margin of error. And in case you missed it at 4, the jury in Trump's hush money trial has gone home for the day without reaching a verdict. CNN projects former Trump spokesperson Katrina Pearson will win the Republican primary runoff for a Texas state House seat. Pearson will unseat incumbent state representative Justin Holland in the Dallas area 33rd district. With no Democrat running, she's almost certain to win the general election in November. Pearson was a highly visible Trump surrogate during his first campaign, regularly appearing on cable television to defend Trump and promote his White House bid. A federal appeals court has ruled Washington, D.C.'s majority Democratic population does not make its jury pool too biased to try a January 6th Capitol rioter case. In 2022, former New York Police Department officer Thomas Webster was found guilty of assaulting a D.C. Metropolitan Police officer during the riot. Webster challenged his conviction on grounds including the jury pool argument. New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez returned to court in Lower Manhattan today. Menendez is in the third week of his federal corruption trial. Yesterday, prosecutors presented emails, documents, and phone records to the jury. Menendez has been charged with playing a pivotal role in a convoluted international bribery scheme involving his wife, the governments of Egypt and Qatar, and several New Jersey businessmen. The U.S. is sending more aid to help in the fight against Russia, but this latest round is not going to Ukraine. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has pledged $135 million in aid to Moldova to counter Russian influence. Moldova is one of the candidates to join the 27-nation EU bloc, but recently they say Russia has been making moves to prevent that from happening. The country has been rumored to be meddling in local elections and conducting disinformation campaigns. Charges against the world's top golfer are now dropped. A Louisville judge has agreed that the case against Scottie Scheffler will not move forward. Scheffler was arrested outside Valhalla Golf Club earlier this month during the PGA Championship. He was charged with assaulting a police officer when he tried to get to the course during a massive traffic jam caused by a deadly crash. Scheffler's attorney says he is simply ready to move forward.
We are tracking some pretty nice weather on this Wednesday across the region, tracking some sunshine, also some cooler conditions. Let's take a live look across the mountains, and as you can see, not much happening from Buffalo Mountain, also from the London Corbin Airports and from I-64 over in Rowan County at this hour. We should be in the upper 70s. Most of us right now, though, in the upper 60s to lower 70s, so we are below average on this Wednesday, up to 68 for Pikeville, 72 for London, also in Manchester, and 70 for Grundy, also in Clintwood at this hour. Also watching out for some breezy winds, gusting to 17 for Pikeville and gusting to 18 over in London, so a little bit breezy as we go into this evening as well. Up on first alert, pinpoint Doppler tracking some dry weather this evening for most of us. I gave you the first alert during first at 4 for a few light showers close to the I-64 corridor, so we are watching out for a few sprinkles pushing into parts of Wayne County, also in Lawrence County, not too far away from Louisa at this hour. For most of us, though, we stay dry to close out your Wednesday. A small chance of a passing light shower, maybe a few sprinkles, but that will not be a widespread issue. The bigger story, we are cooler to wake up on your Thursday. Lows in the low 50s to upper 40s in some areas. Also tracking some dense fog to wake up on Thursday. A copy and paste forecast on the way tomorrow. Some more mainly dry weather, also some more cooler conditions. All those details coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Overdose deaths are declining across Kentucky and across the nation. A major contributor is the availability of naloxone. This weekend at Red Miles Railbird Festival in Lexington, an overdose prevention group is setting up to help educate people about the life-saving measure. Mariah Congito talked to organizers of This Must Be the Place.
There's a lot of cutting, lacing, and counterfeiting going on with fentanyl right now. It's really despicable. It's really dangerous.
This Must Be the Place will visit 39 festivals this year from coast to coast.
Music and drugs will always be intertwined.
Their next stop is Red Mile for the 2024 Railbird Festival. Folks with This Must Be the Place say this will be their second time attending. Last year, they saw just how many people were eager to have naloxone kits on hand should a situation ever arise.
Fingers crossed it never happens at a festival. And then this stuff makes it back into that community. But we've now fostered that willingness to help someone, even a complete stranger.
William Perry, director of This Must Be the Place, says they passed out 1,200 free Kloxxado kits at Railbird last year. Kloxxado is a brand of naloxone. Perry says many people don't have access to it.
We educate them on Kloxxado. We tell them, exactly how to respond, how to check for the signs and symptoms. What they walk away with is a really cool packet.
Perry had his own bout with opioid addiction. Now sober, he says he wants to share the lessons he's learned and be the reason someone has a chance to also get their life back on track.
We have to be willing to help them, and that's how we get through this crisis, is by keeping people alive. Dead people just don't have the opportunity to recover.
Perry says they've given out $3 million worth of naloxone since their mission started 3 years ago.
When we hand them this medicine, what we always see is that look of empowerment.
Mariah Congito, WKYT.
This Must Be the Place will be at the festival both Saturday and Sunday. If you'd like to read more about their mission, you can find a link in this story on WYMT.com. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, what you need to know when receiving suspicious notices about renewing subscriptions that are believed to be fake.
Plus, rain chances are set to increase by this weekend. Your first alert forecast after this break.